Good morning to you all. It's honestly humbling. It's indeed amazing to be here. Anytime I find myself back here, it's always a good experience and a journey. And of course, in the midst of legends, Prof. I've never had the opportunity to really say thank you, and so I say thank you once again for your influence over the years. Of course, we have the likes of Roberta Gardner. Each time I take up a stage, I feel her presence because I feel her glaring at me because I'm careful about the choice of words and, my pronunciations. She's had a great influence as far as that is also concerned, and so thank you as well. APR, of course, my acting days here gave me a deeper sense of, character embodiment, etc. And you were preparing the grounds for great things to happen to most of us. And I would say that for all of you who are blessed with these legends, please take it seriously. It will pay off later on. Now you may not even see it, but I'm indeed eternally grateful, and for all the others who have impacted me on my life. Thank you. So just to get it rolling, I think that probably I would veer into more of a character-based area. I'm sure you've heard a lot of wisdom from the earlier speakers, and I want to look at that. I think that one of the things that you should begin to build as you are here is, and one of my first points will be leaving a mark. Leaving a mark. When I say leaving a mark in the creative industry and social spaces. I think in this age, the Dean outlined some of the responsibilities that is thrown upon us as ambassadors, and I think that one of the areas is character. And so, just as you assume roles, and I'm sure that you've had a number of performances here on the stage or elsewhere, just as you embody characters, and the whole idea is to make your performance memorable from scene to scene. The same way that you leave a mark in each scene, you do the same when you find yourself out there in the field. It is very, very important that we carry ourselves and the image that we have built over the years, or other people have built over the years, are protected by us and continued. Today you have, especially in corporate spaces where we're invited to, people are looking out for new faces. People are looking out for people who have really positioned themselves well to sort of be a face of a product, to be a face of a brand, to be, the key person to embark on this project. And sometimes it just takes how well you comport yourself, how well you're composed. In a certain gathering, you have people who are looking out for these people, and before you know, somebody says, look, why don't we take a look at this young lady full of confidence? She has a lot of discipline, she comports herself well, and she's good at what she does, and that could be a door opener for you. And in the corporate world, when one door is open, it leads to other doors being open, and it solely depends on we making sure that we don't go into a space where we leave bad images and bad memories in the minds of other people. And so let it be a conscious thing that wherever we go, that a mark that is left will live after us. And so keep that in mind. I think that one of the next things that I want to touch on is, PEPFAR and the rest have talked about social media. I think that it's an age where it's both a blessing and a curse, depending on how you look at it. But I think that it's how we use that tool and space. When we become ambassadors, as we're starting from now, it's very key that we protect this image, and therefore how we relate and react to fans or public is also very key. Earlier on, some of the key speakers touched on this, but I want us to be even more sensitive to how we relate and react to people who have the opportunity to use these platforms. There are people who just come and talk from, excuse me to say, their butt, and nothing good comes from that place anyway. So, but just because it's a platform and they have the opportunity to use it, Some people leave comments that can provoke you to the extent where you wish you could give them a punch in the face. They upset you, they get your blood boiling, but you always must remember, connected to leaving a mark, connected to being an ambassador of this school at least, that your response and reaction will define you. And so make your point, but be courteous about it. There's a way in saying, there's so many ways in saying no. You've said your no, but you don't have to scream it at anybody's face. You can say no with a smile. It's all because of where we're coming from and the foundation that we're building. And so our response, our reactions to social media spaces with the public and individuals or fans is very key in continuing this agenda. So be mindful of what you put out there, as we've been told, because you're writing your testimonial. People are looking at you in a very different light, and so protect that dignity as well. Have a teachable spirit. A teachable spirit. I think George Quay touched on it. What I do, and I've done over the years, is that I don't, especially when I left the School of Performing Arts and then I had the opportunity to further my education for my master's elsewhere, is that I've never gone into the field thinking that, oh yeah, I've come out of school and so I have new knowledge, I know it all. I never have had that spirit. The thing is that everyone is unique. Now you go into the field and you realize that there are people out there who may not have had the same opportunities that you may have as far as education is concerned, but it doesn't make them useless. There are people who have walked onto set, productions that I've been involved with, and they may not have any education. I mean, education in terms of the arts or the creative industry, but they have something that I may not have. And so I am observing people who are having their first, character opportunity, and there's something that they have, the way in which they carry themselves is perhaps a mannerism, a gesture that I'm like, oh, that's very artistic, that aesthetically looks good. And what I do is that I borrow it. And when I borrow it, I make it mine. Now, what that makes you is that it makes you continually, offer variety, gives you the option of, adding more arsenals to whatever you have. Now, when you go into a space of, especially performing arts, and you think that you know it, or you close your eyes to a newcomer, thinking that they should be the ones who should come to you because you are supposed to mentor them, because you have this background, etc., you are closing yourself up. And I'm telling you that the new potentials, the young people out there who are great, who are splendid at what they're doing, they don't even realize it. And if we shut out to these people, you will not be learning. You get to a point where it's like you know it all. And so be mindful that everybody has something to offer. Look out for the uniqueness and borrow that and make it your own. And that would take you places. Now, one thing that you need to note is that from here, or even if you want to continue after this, which I urge you to do so, when you go into the field, there are practices or cultures that have been formed over time. And so these are paradigms that, have taken roots. You don't go in those spaces with this background with a whip in your hand and lashing everybody that this is not the way it's done, this is not the way it's done. I've just come back from the classroom and, this is how it's done. You'll be causing problems because people have practiced, probably if it's the wrong way of doing things over time, and that's what they know, and so you don't go in there aggressively. What you do is negotiate. Let me give you a practical example. So I got onto the field from School of Performing Arts, and I had opportunities, and then, for example, a director, producer comes up to me and gives me a script. Now he gives me the script today and says, we're going on the third day. So today's Monday, and he said, Charlie, Wednesday you're on set. I'm like, what? I said, yes, you're on set. Are you not an actor? Yeah, I'm an actor, but I mean, Wednesday, I've hardly even read through the script and, understood whatever concept it is that most of these people will not even have a more like a conference, a pre-production meeting, etc., to explain where they're going with the production, etc. I mean, and yet you're supposed to come on set on the third day to shoot. Now, you can't just say that, no, Masa, this is not how it's done. If you go to the school, they don't teach you that. You can't go into that space like that. You have to negotiate, because what you're doing is that you're trying to begin a change, and it's supposed to be a process, because this is going to be new for the person, where you're going to say that, oh no, you know what, it will take me like 2 weeks or 1 week. So find a nice way of going about it. So what I remember doing was that, look, Master, if you really want me to really give my very, very best, which I'm determined to do, give me like a week and a half. You scream and say, oh, no, but, try and coax and don't give in. And so that process began because I began to negotiate. Now, all too soon, it catches fire, because then one producer tells the other person, hey, that pusher guy, if you go give us scripts, make sure that it's 2 weeks in advance, so otherwise it will even, and then gradually people begin to realize that, oh, okay, it takes time for us. And of course, I'm not asking for time to just, because I need time on my hands to just relax, but then it's part of the investment you make into the character, into the storyline. You need to research, you need to have a deep understanding of the character that you're playing, and sometimes you have to go to certain spaces to learn certain things to add to whatever the whole process of attaining whatever the vision of the script is. And we need time to do so. So negotiating these things are very, very key, especially in a terrain where people are not used to, for lack of a better word, a professional way of doing things as we'll be given the opportunity to do. So you will find yourself in those spaces, and don't go and fight. Be nice about it, negotiate, but let's continue to make that change. Let that change happen, because it is very key. There's one more thing I wanted to leave you with. I think that the very beginning, George Quaid talked about productions that we did here, and it was Tobias and Angel was one that he made a reference to. And it is key that you do not limit yourselves. I mean, when you're done here, on a daily basis, you need to add more value to yourself. And adding more value to yourself is not just limited to the talent that you have and all the, whatever you learn in this space, but even after here, it's a daily process. Because what this place gives you is that thirst, that hunger to want more. And so when you leave here, you don't get to a point like, okay, I'm done still performing arts and I'm at my peak, and that's it. But it should open you to hunger and thirst for more. And so you do your daily research, having the opportunity out there today. We're blessed with opportunities online. We spend time online listening to songs, music. It's okay, but let's balance it a bit now, where we're looking for knowledge. We're looking out for people who have walked the path that we want to walk, who have made that impact. Learn from them. What are their weaknesses? Don't even look at only their success stories. Look at weaknesses, their failure points, and make them your strengths, because then we can only build on what others have done, and not. So when people tell me that they want to be like me, I'm like, shut up, don't be like me. You have to be better than me. Look out for the things that what are my weak points. Definitely, I'm human, so there are things that I will not get right, and so make them your strengths, because we want to be better and better, and not be stagnant and be compared to a certain time where, oh, it was better in the good old days. I don't like that phrase anymore. I used to say it, but I hate that phrase, the good old days. The days should be better now. And those ahead should be way better than today. And we must carry that onus on ourselves as ambassadors to ensure that we do not vanish from this face of the earth. And so please, let's continue this battle. I know as people, some of the earlier speakers said, it's for now it makes it a bit challenging with stress. Those times when we had to get up early in the morning, Mr. Newman, it felt as if it was a bother, but we didn't know that we're being built up. A foundation is being laid. I get up, I easily have to do something, some workouts, even when Mr. Newman is no more there, and these things we look back and we're like, wow. These people really laid a good foundation for all of us. And so take everything that comes at you now seriously. There'll be barriers, but overcome them and move on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention.